Hello, I'm Ethan, a New York City-based business growth coach, and I don't know if you heard, but the original gentleman who founded the restaurant that's known as Hooters, they're back in play as they're looking to take back ownership of Hooters and rescue it from financial ruin. So this is a new phenomenon, and I just want to spend a little bit of time talking about how companies go about reviving tarnished company brands. So this from Newsweek. I like this article by Hugh Cameron. The original founders of this iconic Hooters chain restaurant are close to finalizing a deal to take back ownership of the brand and promised its return to its roots as a lively local hangout. Bad food, big boobs. Let's talk about what they mean by this iconic brand going back to a local hangout. So on Tuesday of this week, which launched the first restaurant in 1983, they announced, the original ownership team, that they were close to acquiring the Hooters of America, which is the company that owns and operates over 100 of the Hooters chain restaurants across the US. So according to their announcement, patrons are going to notice an immediate set of changes to the restaurants, including fresher quality ingredients and a cleaner menus. Hooters Inc. said that its female servers, Hooters girls, will also return to wearing their iconic original uniforms, which was the white branded t-shirts and the cream orange shorts, following multiple attempts to depart from the traditional orange shorts, white top combo, and that the acquisition of those 100 restaurants by the original ownership team, the original founders, is going to be marked by a renewed commitment to family and community. So first off, how silly is that? The marketplace has determined that a restaurant of Hootersville has no place in a community where there's family. So this acquisition of these 100 Hooters by the original leadership team concludes a very lengthy process that began with Hooters of America filing for bankruptcy, earlier this year. Also, there's been challenges in the retail sector. So the March filing was attributed, their filing for bankruptcy, Hooters America, was attributed to the significant debt that was accrued by the company. Something one expert said was due to its antiquated business model. Yeah. So why would you want to, as the former founders, why would you want to reacquire Hooters of America and then return to the delightfully tacky aesthetic? The founders said they have plans for restaurant renovations and an adoption of streamlined menu built around better, higher quality ingredients. So we'll see what the market feels about this. So here are the original founders. For them, saving the chain is a higher calling. America needs us. This is the shtick. But okay, a group of Florida friends that thought it would be fun to open a restaurant in the 1980s that this is their standard, couldn't get kicked out of. So now these original founders are in their 70s and they're buying back those 100 franchises with a plan to restore the Hooters brand from its signature wings to the orange shorts to its cheeky glory days. Last summer, Neil Kiefer, CEO of the original Hooters Founders Group, heard that the franchisor and operator of the Florida-based chain restaurant known as Hooters of America was about to go bankrupt. So the 73-year-old Kiefer, longtime friend of the three living co-founders of the chicken wing empire, called them up, laid their options on the Hooters table. The group's 22 locations, Florida and Chicago, are averaging 4.7 million in annual sales for each of those locations. While Hooters of America, their 150 locations, were bringing in less than half that, about 2.3 million per year per location. So Kiefer believed that they could turn around the failing restaurants and made a bold proposal. I can drop this whole thing and will just exist as we have in the territories we have, he told them, or we can take a bigger risk. So let's play this out. I want to share with you a video, The Deserved Downfall of Hooters. Sometimes the world moves on. Lifestyles, tastes, preferences, values, the desire for new experiences in our dining lives, that kicks in. And so what has the market said about Hooters? Let's see.
Over the past 20 years, the Breastaurant, known as Hooters, has been on the slow decline. And they've been doing everything in their power to fight it, but nothing is working. They tried to force their servers to wear even more revealing outfits, launching spin-off restaurants, and focusing marketing to families and younger generations. Despite this, though, they've racked up, no pun intended, over $300 million in debt. They've closed over 40 locations and recently even declared bankruptcy. So today, I want to dive into the very interesting and controversial rise of Hooters, as well as why they're failing and if it's even salvageable at this point.
So this is the concept, right, of businesses who have an organic shelf life. They come into existence, whatever the creative spark was that led to their developments. But at some point, we adapt. We shift, or we lose out. And that's what's going on in Hooters. And from my perspective as a business coach, it'll be interesting to watch how they make the changes that they are claiming is going to resuscitate a failing brand. So let's move on. I want to jump to the end of this video and then play.
Hooters was founded in 1983 by 6 guys in Florida. These 6 guys had no restaurant experience and just wanted a place they could go that they wouldn't get kicked out of. And I'm not even kidding, that's literally what it says on the Hooters website. These guys had the revolutionary idea of bringing attractive women in revealing clothing to exclusively be the servers in their restaurant, coining the term Breastaurant, which is actually a real name of a business industry now. However, at the start, Hooters was bound to fail. In fact, they actually founded the company on April Fool's Day as a joke because they, quote, expected their prospect to fail. So not only did they have no experience and no confidence, but their first day went horribly wrong. They couldn't figure out how to light the fryers, they didn't have their alcohol license yet, and they only attracted about 3 customers. Despite all of this, they somehow managed to make it work. Because, I mean...
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing about businesses. Sometimes they succeed despite themselves. So the rise of sports and viewing and gambling and wanting to be in an environment that's playing your local sports in a comfortable environment vis-a-vis alcohol, cheap food, inexpensive food, fried food, and of course, aesthetically pleasing individuals on the wait staff. That was a model, certainly. But let's go on and watch something else that I think is also instructive in terms of understanding the Hooters experience. So this one from Wikipedia, why nobody wants to go to Hooters anymore.
Over 300,000 women have worn these orange shorts and tank tops since 1983 while serving chicken wings to dudes pretending they're coming for the sports atmosphere. These women worked as waitresses in a restaurant that literally started as an April Fool's joke between 6 Florida friends thinking it would be hilarious when their stupid idea failed. Plot twist, it didn't fail. It made them millionaires. It's like texting your ex "I miss you" as an April Fool's joke and ending up married with a mortgage. These accidental geniuses invented an entire category of restaurants called Breastaurants, and I swear I'm not making this up. Your kids will learn about it in business school. They went from one joke restaurant to 420 locations worldwide. They defeated a $22 million lawsuit from the US government using methods so ridiculous that Congress started laughing. They even started their own airline because why not fly when you're already selling chicken wings? Today they're filing for bankruptcy because of one little mistake, and it's probably not what you think. It's not because of cancel culture or whatever your uncle blames everything on, so Buckle up, because this story is about to get more uncomfortable than your dad suggesting Hooters for your mom's birthday dinner. 6 friends in Clearwater, Florida, with 0 restaurant experience filed incorporation papers on April Fool's Day, 1983. They literally chose April 1st because when it failed, they could say, "It was just a prank, bro." Their combined restaurant experience was eating at restaurants. That's it. And all they wanted, and I'm quoting them directly here, was a place they can't get kicked out of.
So there you go. That was the impetus for starting a joke of a restaurant business that blew up to hundreds of locations, making millions and millions of dollars. But now again, the business has gone through an organic life cycle. And so how do you resuscitate a brand that's in free fall? And so what we're going to do is pay attention and see what ultimately their solution is. They talk about making changes to the menu. We'll see, and creating a family-focused dining experience at a Breastaurant, of all places, with suspect food, sports on TV, and an attractive wait staff. That's the model as it currently exists that the market has dictated is no longer viable. So let's see what ultimately happens. I want to share one last resource with you before we call it quits today. And that's this: Hooters founders to the rescue, a $40 million bet to revive. They call it an iconic brand here on Finance Monthly. But okay, so the original founders are back. They're going to infuse $43 million back into the restaurant chain Hooters of America that they're going to buy out those 100 locations in Florida. So Neil Kiefer, alongside Gil Giordanato, Edward Drost, and Dennis Johnson, they're going to put together a $40 million initiative to acquire specifically 111 locations from out of this bankruptcy filing that happened in March. Their mission to restore the brand to its roots and revitalize its financial standing. So if they're shooting from 2.3 million per year per location to something along the lines of 4.7, 4.8 million, they're effectively looking to double their run rate revenue of those failing chains. So founded in 1983 as a joke, multiplied to 400 locations across the US and overseas. Annual sales in the aggregate of 1.2 billion. Combination of signature chicken wings, those orange shorts, and memorable branding turned it into a recognizable and profitable enterprise that since has struggled financially to keep its allure to the changing preferences, lifestyles, customer base, and consumer taste preferences, as well as dining experience preferences. So there you have it. If you like the video, please let me know what you think. I'd love it if you could hit the like button and certainly subscribe to my channel. There's over 670 videos for startups, entrepreneurs, founders, executives, CEOs around how do you create an amazing workplace culture and use that to unleash your people's performance and productivity. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.